board meeting for Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. If we could stand for the flag salute. Our first order of business is we have a public hearing, for a subdivision. It's a 6-lot subdivision. It's Lower Hollandville Acres subdivision, and the applicant is FR Carroll Incorporated. I don't know if it's Mike or you're going to do the presentation. I didn't. I was looking for Dan, but
No, you can't.
he's not. Okay, so Mike Carroll's going to do the presentation.
So, can I bring this and set it over here?
That's fine. Yep. Can you see that, Stephanie? All right. Okay. Yeah. Maybe turn it out a little bit to the. Yep. Perfect. Yep. Can you see that? All right. Okay.
Good evening, my name is Mike Carroll. What we propose is a 6-lot subdivision along Alea Drive in Limerick. That is on town water and sewer. We've got, I believe we have everything that the planning board has asked for on the map. I believe we've answered all the questions. I'm not sure what else you want me to say here, and I'm not very good at this. I
Okay.
don't-
So it's a 6-lot subdivision on Alea Drive.
Yep.
The lots are approximately 22.5 or 20.
Yeah.
Approximately 22,500 square feet. There's approximately 100 feet of frontage on each lot. And it begins at the,
The Ham subdivision.
just after the Ham subdivision and goes just after the end of the road, where the road turns on Alea Drive, so. I think we can open up to the audience and see if we have for public comment. Unless the board has any questions from Mike. Okay. Anyone from the public like to speak?
Do I go up?
Yeah, go to the podium, please.
Sorry, this is our first.
Yeah.
I would like to know, like, what is your plan for between the lots? Like, are you planning to keep woods, like, because my house is here, kind of wondering how much wooded area is planned.
So all we're doing is subdividing the land. At this time, we're not building any of the houses at this point. The setback, I believe, on the side is 10 feet. Other than that, there's no, it depends on where the house goes, it depends on who the builder is and what they're going to do. I really can't answer that question because we're not at that point at this point. But the setbacks are 10 feet on the side.
He's 10 on the side, 15 on the back, or something like that, so.
He's 15 on the front, 20 on the back.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Do you mind stating your name?
Oh,
just,
sorry, Bethany Peterson.
Pearson?
Peterson.
Peterson, okay. Okay.
We were also curious of any plans to put in stop signs, more speed limit signs, things like that, because people already go flying down that road like 40, 50 miles an hour, and it's like 25. So we're just, with increased traffic, we're just curious the town's plan for those kind of things as well.
Okay. I don't know of anything at this time. Stan, do you know of any plans for stop signs or? Stan, do you know of any plans for stop signs or any of that stuff? Do you?
We're going to place a 3-way stop sign on the corner of Hillview and Alea and Dover.
There's going to be a 3-way stop there?
Okay.
Okay. All right, if that helps you. That means everybody's gonna stop in front of your house.
Stop in front of your house there, yeah.
That's fine, because I'd rather them stop in front of my house than go by my house 40 miles an hour.
Okay.
Stan, while you weren't here, they talked about, like, a setback of maybe like 10 feet between properties.
She was asking about clearing between the lots. They said at this point, there's no plans of what they're gonna do on that.
When I said that needs to be discussed here, if there's gonna be a buffer that's,
If we decided,
Turn that mic on. Stan, if you're gonna sit there, can you turn the mic on?
you're asking too much.
okay. All right, so we can discuss that when we get to the conditions.
Okay.
Anything else?
Those were
Okay.
major things, were just,
Okay,
Can I address that just for a second?
sure.
There's one other thing, there will be stop signs. What we're looking at, and some of the members of the select board have been hearing the complaints about speeding, not only on Alea Drive, but other roads. We are looking at acquiring stop signs that flash, this is the speed limit, this is your speed. So that we are looking into that.
So I guess my question is, the lots are 100 feet wide, and there's 10 feet on either side for a setback that's in the town ordinance. So you're talking about putting more restrictive buffers on than that, on each lot? Is that what you're talking about doing, or? This is-
We're really not talking about anything at this point. I mean, that's what she's asking, and
Okay.
we can talk about that, and the board can decide, once we get to the point of deliberation, so. It's well within our rights to do that.
Okay, it just makes it more difficult to build
I-
on a
I
lot like
understand
that,
that.
so. Okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, anyone else from the public would like to speak? Ed?
Tony Carroll, I'm chairman of the board of the Water District and Sewer District. The Water and Sewer District would like to request that the infrastructure for the water and the sewer be put on the lots, and before the last coat of hot top is put on. These people that live down there have tolerated a substandard road for quite a few years, and they finally got a decent road down there. Southern Maine Homes did an excellent job. They did everything we required of them. They even went to the point of raising the hydrants that needed to be done. They updated the subdivision to the town standard, and they're planning on hot topping the road right off, and I think it's only fair to them that they get out of their performance bond and get it done. Their work is done, other than hot top, putting one more coat of hot top on there, and I think the planning board should consider this, and so these people end up with a decent road. Thank you. When we did Westcott Street, Maple Street, and Prospect Street, the town requested that we put hot top on it. We patched the road in, they patched it in, and then they put another coat of hot top on those. And that was all paid for through the job. Thank you. If it's not done that way, they won't call a developer. If there's bumps in the road, they'll call the Water and Sewer District and say, you put lines across the road, and I don't want to take that. I want it done right. And this is probably a $2 to $2.5 million subdivision, and I think they ought to be able to put the infrastructure in right up front and tar the road. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? You all set? Okay. So with that, I'll close the public hearing. And then, does the board wish to go right into the deliberation on this? We don't have much other agenda, so we can skip over the other stuff and start working on this, if that's okay?
Yeah, just, can we just clarify that really quick? So what he was talking about was putting the water and sewer in when they do the subdivision? When they build, because he just said that they're not building anything right away.
So, they're going to put in, the Southern Maine Homes is scheduled to pave that, like, they're scheduled to pave it any day, but Stan has asked them to hold off, so we can kind of figure out how the planning board wants to handle this. What could happen is, if individual lots were sold, there could be 12 paved cuts into that pavement.
One for sewer, one for water.
One for sewer, one for water. What the hope is to get in there before this code is paved over and put, try to combine the water and the sewer, and so that they're putting two waters in at the same time. So basically you got 3 cuts for water. The sewer, it looks like about 5 of the services can go right into a manhole, so it shouldn't be a huge deal getting into the road, maybe a little bit, but not a tremendous amount. And then there's one of them that is going to be a pretty big deal. The sewer is extremely deep there. It's 15.5 feet deep, so it's got to have a pretty big hole in order to make that work. One of the contractors that did one of the other sewer lines, he was working all alone, and he got all dug out, and he said, I don't know what I'm even doing here, because he was so nervous about it caving. And when we put the lines across on Alair Drive, that was caving pretty quickly. I was in the trench and it was caving, so. So
is there a chance of disruption of other people's water lines?
no, just, it's gonna come off the main. There's no other water lines in that vicinity at all, other than,
Or sewer line, I should say.
and the sewer, there's a sewer main that runs down the whole length of that, and that is the main feed to the pump station, it goes to the pump station, then it's pumped to the sewer treatment plant, so. So, I guess we might as well get this out there. So, Southern Maine Homes wants to get rid of their obligation. So basically, what they would like to do is pave everything else that they need to, and then there's a certain amount of money that they will have had to have paid for paving that section. And what they'd like to do is basically cut the town a check, or the town can put that money in escrow. And then when this developer gets all the water and sewer in, and I think we should give them, until until sometime next summer or whatever to get them in, and then pave that road. And if there's an additional cost because the prices went up, then this developer will be responsible for that. That's my thought, and the board can discuss it however they want to. But.
So if all the lots are sold off separately to different people, there's no one developer in charge of that?
No.
It would just be the town
It would, so,
after Southern Maine.
yeah, that's right. So the town owns the road. Southern Maine is going to pave it, So,
I know we closed the public hearing. Could I just speak a little bit?
I don't think so right now, Frank.
All right.
So I guess, do we want to keep talking about this issue, or do we want to start working our way through the conditions?
I think that's the issue that affects the most people.
I agree.
So I think that's gonna be the biggest concern of the majority of people in this room, and then also how the town functions as far as where that money's being held, how long it's allowed to be held. I think those are the details we should hash out first.
Okay. So I will make a motion that we give the developer until September of 2026 to get the water and sewer in.
Do you mean that as the current owner of all the land?
Yes. So the current developer, give them until September of 2026 to install all the water and sewer to the lots, doing all the crosscuts, and to work with the water and sewer department to minimize the amount of cuts in the road and, impact to the water and sewer system. And then, so then the other part of it would be that the developer, pays any additional money to put the top coat on once
It's all
it's complete. Once all the water and sewer lines are in, they put the top coat on, and if there's, Southern Maine Homes is gonna put a certain amount of money in, and if it's a little bit, if it's more, then, the developer will have to pay that extra money.
And if it's less, it gets returned back to Southern Maine?
I don't know how that works. That's a town. I'm not gonna get into that. We know what it's gonna cost. They know what it's gonna cost, so if there's extra money, then the town spends it. I don't know.
Can I ask, is there any negatives that,
Currently, we do have the quotes and the estimates, and we do have right now an irrevocable letter of credit. And what the Southern Maine Modular wants to do is release the irrevocable letter of credit. The town will put that money into an escrow account marked for the completion of Leonard Drive. We do know it's approximately, right now, just over 100,000. I think she said 118,000 was to finish the paving.
Okay.
is there any negative to not having that top coat on over this winter? I don't know how paving works, so I'm
So,
genuinely curious if it doesn't.
so
get
I
done.
don't think so. So that also includes them, the manholes gotta have, the manholes have to have risers, right? No, they're all set, they're already to the height? So they're all to the correct height?
Raised up. They're just gonna grind around them.
Okay.
You know.
So there's no additional cost there, so that's all set.
But like the road itself will be fine going through a
Yes,
winter without a last
yes.
hot
It,
top?
it went through last winter fine. So the road, so they're paved around all the sewer, manholes, so that's, shouldn't be a problem.
That won't be a problem with plowing if they're
I don't
raised up?
I don't think so. They didn't have any real problems with it last year, so I think that it would be okay. Is there a second on that?
So the motion is to give them until September 2026 to finish all of the sewer and water extensions?
Yeah, so they're gonna put sewer and water onto each lot. Work with the water and sewer department or districts to put water and sewer on the lots, at their expense. And then, to pay for any additional monies that it costs to pave
Once it's complete.
once it's complete. And that should be done by
September 30th.
yes, what's the, October 1st being the last of paving, maybe?
Yeah, I would say that's roughly a time frame. You don't want to get into too much cold weather. We've had issues because they paved too.
Is that fair?
Can I speak just to Aaron? A couple things you're not thinking about.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Carol. One thing you're not thinking about is, that's all good to get the curb cuts done, that's the right thing to do. I don't think it's the burden of us, because we're not developing and building it, we're only applying for a subdivision tonight, but that's talkable. But anyways, to put the surface on, we're gonna do these curb cuts, right? They based it in, and what happened around all your basins over the winter? They all settled. So if we did the curb cuts next year, it's not really wise to put the surface on the same year. Let it set through a winter, so it does settle out, and he's settling, then you shim it up and fix it, and then put it on. But also, you're not thinking about the developing. There's gonna be 6 homes built here. Do you want the surface coat put on? When you're gonna be trucking in there, guys gonna be dropping excavators right in the road. Where else are they gonna drop them? They're gonna drop them right in the road. So they're gonna be running on your surface pavement. I mean, I did Levitt Brook, and you wait till the last house is developed before you put the surface coat on. It'd be wise for the town to leave that money in escrow, and who knows when it's gonna happen. Could be next year, could be 5 years from now before that's done. And, yeah, at least the people have it. We should get this lady off the hook. She should be off the hook for her end. She's done her part. Town should accept her check wholeheartedly and let that part be. But moving forward, I think you really should think about the surface coat going on and when it goes on.
So in that case, Aaron, the issue is the people that live on Alair Drive have for over 20 years endured some circumstances they shouldn't have, not your fault or anybody else's fault.
But is the town plowing it now, Stan, or not?
Yes, they are.
Okay,
We
so-
own the road,
Thank you, Frank. We'll consider that.
so
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be fair to the residents of Alair Drive if we put it off an additional year beyond next year. It would be something, maybe we could have a meeting with them, but right now we can pave it without doing any damages to the road or to the plowing equipment. But to make them wait longer and longer and longer, it's still gonna give that same bad image that they have felt for the last 20 years. So it's just putting myself in their shoes. So I don't know if I'd hold off doing the top coat too much longer than another year.
I think I'm kind of on the, I kind of feel like it should be done in that 2026 year. And that's my thought. The board is welcome to.
We definitely have a.
I want to say something about the account, I want to say something about the accounting of these.
Okay.
This town historically, when they put something in escrow, puts it into the very big town checking account. And if you earn interest onto that account, that interest should go back to the project and not to the town, okay? So if you put $118,000, it should be in a separate account, and any interest should also go towards that. If they put it into the general big checking account, you'll never figure out how much interest that money earned. So I'm going to recommend that you put it in its separate CD or separate checking account.
I don't see why do we care that the town gets a little bit of extra money there?
Well, that means you're putting the burden on you guys. Right?
I mean,
if it earns $40,
we're investing the town's money for them. I don't see that. I think
Legally, the town cannot do that, and legally, if it goes in an escrow account, just like we did with Cam's Way, or off in Alair Drive, it has to go into a non-interest bearing account. We cannot make money.
Thank you, Stan.
We cannot make money on it. That is the statute. So It has to, and the auditors will have a turd if it goes in another account.
Okay,
So it's just a non-indirect account.
okay. All right,
I mean, thinking about what Frank said, I worry that, you fix this road, you get all this stuff done, and then all of a sudden for, 12 months, you got trucks going in and out of there and building these lots, and then what happens? The road's,
well, it's no different than me having a logging business, and if I mess up the road, then I pay for it.
yeah.
It's, they have to take care to, go ahead.
And I guess it's, yeah.
That's all well and good, wait until spring to do it. I don't have a problem with that at all. But as far as the trucks staving the road up and all that, we don't have any idea what their schedule is in developing those lots. They might develop them 3 years down the road. So that's got nothing to do with it.
Okay,
I can answer that one, and we just did this because we have developments on other roads that were closed for winter maintenance that were opened. One being namely Win Griffith Road. A logging company went in there after we started doing maintenance, bringing that road up to standards. Under the law or the statute, if a logging company or a company damages the road, they are liable for the road or the damages. So again, it's not the town's burden, it's just a matter of us staying in tune to what's going on. And I think we're doing a better job at that. I think we learned a lot of lessons. We're not trying to penalize the contractors or developers, but there's some common rules that we can follow and work together and make sure things are handled appropriately.
Sure.
okay.
Sounds to me like the way Frank said, he's like, that's all well and good, it's not their expense, right? Is kind of how you said, because you're not the developer, you're just subdividing the land. So I still think there's a little bit of gray area here where who's paying for this? Because it sounds like you're like, that's not our cost, but we are saying it is their cost, right?
We are saying it is their cost. They're getting the benefit of getting 6 lots there
Yep.
instead of 3.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a pretty huge deal, when you're talking,
Oh, I think
The-
we're fine with that, Aaron.
okay,
I just wanted to make sure that was really clear that.
I'm more concerned with the road and doing the right thing
Okay.
with the road.
okay.
That
All
was
right.
my point, sorry.
Okay, so I guess, do we just let the selectmen decide on when that gets paved, or is that reasonable
That should be done by the planning board.
to the planning board?
There should be some timeframes, because again, we have to address the residents over there that are living there now. And we've already told them it will be done by this year, and, not minding to meet with them and explain to them, and I'm sure they will understand and agree. But if we keep postponing it off, the omen of the past is gonna come back, and they're gonna have that in the car they've met the whole time, waiting to see if it's gonna get done. So I think we just, timeframes are better. If there's a delay, then we can deal with that at the time. But, and it's just cause. But if it's just a delay for the sake of whatever, then no, we need definitive timeframes. The other reason for that, in order to enforce things, you gotta have definitive answers to them.
Okay, all right. So I guess I'd like to just stay with October 15th of 2026 paving. That's my motion, and
I guess, I'm not sure it's fair to delay it. And I guess where I'm coming from is I do a lot of work where we have to do road cuts in a lot of towns in Maine and New Hampshire. And we're responsible for repaving the road. Why can't we pave the road now, live up to the town's commitment, and then put it back on the developer to fix the town asset that they're damaging to make money off of this subdivision?
I think we can. I think it's just trying to be reasonable, and where if tomorrow, if it was paved already, it would be a done deal. But in this one case, we have a little bit of working room here. And I agree with you, so if, you know, if the Southern Maine Home says, that's it, we're paving it tomorrow and getting it done. But it seemed like they wanted to work with everybody to get this done. I don't think that it was that bad to plow it. And so I think it could go another year. I spent a lot of time down there driving around, checking on things, so I'm pretty confident that it can survive a year with just a base coat. I do agree with you that down the road, that might be the case, but in this situation, I think we have a little bit of working room. That's all I'm. So,
I almost wonder if a year is too long. I just get it done. Like in spring. It's like now we're prolonging it for another year for something that will have to get done regardless. So why all the extra time? Why not July 31st or July 1st or something?
I guess it's up to the board to set that. If they have a different motion, then they can bring that up.
I'll second the motion to get it done by October 1st.
So there's a motion and a second, and we're gonna discuss this anymore, or?
Yeah, I guess, so when last winter, was the road in the current state it is now?
It was.
Okay. And have we talked to the road commissioner about any of this?
We have not, but I think Stan, have you talked to the road commissioner at all about this at all, or?
They're fine with the conditions now. And again, they're in the loop that when things continue on, there is an inspection process that he's already done prior to this, to get to this point.
Okay.
They're fine. The biggest problem that we had was initially with the snow plowing was because it wasn't originally on the contract. And they weren't aware that we owned the road and was to plow it. We're through that. Now that part is the select board when they do the new snow contract.
Okay. Any other discussion? So, all in favor? Okay, so that's 2 opposed? Okay. All right, so motion doesn't carry. So what do you guys see that you want to do?
I think a year's too long. Why
Okay.
can't we make it July?
I agree.
I mean, they have the winter to get everything lined up. It's better for them if they get to it sooner. It's not gonna, like, the longer this drags on, the more it's gonna cost. I think we
Mhm.
should put some
Okay,
impetus on them to get that done.
okay.
That's where you're at?
I'm fine with the wording, I'm fine with who's doing what. I just don't
Okay.
think, if part of, I know Stan was kind of speaking for the residents of the road, saying it's been a long time that they're going through this, but I'm assuming that's how people feel, so I don't think we should make it any longer than we need to.
So you're saying, just a second. So you're hoping to get it done and paved by the July
31st?
31st? Is that your date?
Sure.
July 1st.
Okay, go ahead.
As chairman of the water district, I am probably responsible for that not being paved at this point, because I contacted selectmen, and I said that it would be too bad not to get the infrastructure in before we get the second coat. They were ready to hot top it any day. And I called Michael and talked to Michael and said, I'd like to see the infrastructure get in, and we had some discussion, and And we've had more discussion since. Most of it positive. I have the thought that paving it, hurriedly putting a second coat of paving on it is not the best thing to do. Because one of those is, they're gonna be digging 16 feet, and they're gonna be digging it's probably gonna be a 20 by 20 foot hole across. And I don't care what kind of compaction you have, you're gonna get settling in that hole throughout next summer. And if you don't wait, there's gonna be a bump there. And that's what we're trying to eliminate. That's what I'm trying to eliminate. That's why I stopped, went forward and tried to hold up the paving until the top coat of paving. If it had got paved, then they would have to raise up the manholes. The developer would have to raise up the manholes. That would be more cost to them. So I think it's a win-win situation. I think if it gets repaved by October 1st of next year, I think that's plenty, soon enough. Thank you.
No, I think we're gonna cut that off. So,
Yeah. In October, I'm fine with that. Yeah, we live there.
okay, yeah, okay.
Good to know.
So,
I'd rather be done right.
okay,
Yeah. It's fine now, it settles a little, if it's,
okay,
I don't want to have bumps again.
yeah, I understand. So, my motion failed. Would you like to set a new motion, do a new motion? Do you want to?
I mean, if it makes sense to, like, from a paving, I don't have paving experience, so I was just going based off of timing and trying to get things done a little bit more efficiently,
It
so.
absolutely makes sense. It would kind of make sense, like Frank said, to postpone it to the next year, but I don't think that that's reasonable to push it to the next year. So in trying to give it time to settle, get it in, get it settled out, maybe the summer, and then paving it in the fall, that's my hope.
I guess there's like a plan for it, I think that's better. I think if we're just like, you just have to get it all done by this day, then it feels like
One
could
thing
be
that's in
not working out.
One thing that's in the favor of that area is that it's very good gravel down there, and it's well drained, and it compacts very well. So, I drove over a crosscut tonight on my way home. It was on the corner by, when we tied in from the Prospect extension, and that held up pretty well. It's a little bit of a bump there, but not too bad, so.
Brian, what are your thoughts?
I just don't think, if the problem is settling, October is not enough. It's gonna settle once the ground freezes and thaws, and the moisture that is trapped in it works its way out. I think if you're gonna go that route, you need to have 2 dates in there where the road cut and the installation needs to be done by a certain date so that the soil can sit long enough for it to settle. Otherwise, it's all gonna get jammed up at the end. You know, I'm still, I still think we shouldn't delay this and that it should be on developers to repair town assets, but I can see I'm probably in the minority there.
So, what's the board's pleasure?
I agree having 2 dates proposed, one to get the work done and then one to get the paving done by, so that there's an adequate time for settling and we have a date that won't be pushed off because we didn't give enough time for settling, so.
Okay. What would your ideal dates be?
You need you need a lot of rainfall to kind of like work the fines out and to kind of go through the system, and then you need a freeze and a thaw. But that's now pushing it into another year, which I'm not okay with, so.
Mhm. So what if we said, cuts need to be done by July 1st, and then paving needs to be done by October 15th? I know that doesn't go through winter.
Would you do July and July? It takes you to 2027 at that point, but.
Yeah. I'm not super comfortable pushing it out that far. Do you have a thought, Stan?
There's a few ways you can look at it. The ordinance also requires that there's a schedule of how the road's gonna be completed. That is also to be used towards the bonding, if you require a bond. Should they fail to meet the schedule, the town then can call the bond and do the rest of the work from the bond, or the irrevocable letter of credit, which is what the attorneys recommend. So that's the other option you've got. But there has to be some sort of schedule in writing so that the town won't be, again, ultimately or potentially held in a position where we're gonna end up in another situation where it will cost the town money or something gets delayed beyond the reason. So there really should be, if we follow the ordinance, there should be a schedule of completion, start to completion, and if it's in excess of what we have in escrow, then there should be a bond to cover that amount of money.
Okay.
And that's why we ask for the estimates to complete things, and I know it was talked at the site walk, they don't know what the crosscuts are gonna cost and et cetera. That is stuff they do need to provide me so that, and the road commissioner, so that we can make sure that this is done without incurring any additional cost. There
So-
may be.
So that doesn't need to be bonded, because those, if those aren't across there, you don't issue a permit. They don't have a permit.
But again.
So that, you don't need to have that in, a bond for that.
The bond is again, if it doesn't get done, the town's gonna end up getting hold. And again, the ordinance says we need a schedule from start to finish, what the schedule's going to be, what the estimated cost is gonna be to do that, and then the bond is based on that, and if it is above.
So Stan, I don't agree with you on that. I think if by October, they haven't done the work, then
I would recommend
then the-
reading your ordinance, because that's what the ordinance specifies. And the prior attorneys, before this town got screwed many, many times. You guys are the taxpayers, I'm not. So this is where it's going to impact you, and it's going to impact the other residents there. So you do need to follow the schedule, and you do need to know what the cost is, and if it's a valuable cost, you need to protect the town. That's our job. I mean, that's not unreasonable, that is what's done. You've
Well,
done it before.
if they don't meet the criteria, they don't have a building permit. So the water and the sewer should have nothing to do with a bond.
It's the road work that's done.
The road work, yes, absolutely. The paving and the road work on the end, absolutely. But
You're gonna be digging
the
up the
water
road.
and sewer, that shouldn't have a bond for that.
Well, and the town isn't involved in the water and sewer, and it isn't obligated to cover any expenses on water and sewer either. But any road work that's done, including digging and repairing, you need a schedule and you need to make sure that the town is protected financially. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Not the water and sewer, but you still need the cost of what it's going to do the crosscuts and tie into the sewer. Because if it impacts the pavement or the road structure itself, then we need to protect the town.
We're not asking them to get a bond for that. And
You may
so
have to. If
I-
it's above and beyond what the escrow is, then you're going to have to, because the town is gonna be held responsible.
Stan, the only, if they don't have, if they don't do the work, they don't have a subdivision, and they can't, and so the water and sewer never goes across it, they didn't do the work, they don't have to, they just, it goes, the subdivision goes away, and nothing ever happened, and that gets paved on October 1st. That's town call, or the town calls it, and they do it.
What concerns me is the word if. If.
Well, there's a lot of ifs in the world, I don't want to ask them, I don't think we should ask them to bond the water and the sewer.
It's not, you're not bonding the water and sewer. That's not a town concern. That's a water and sewer district thing.
But the cost of the bonding to dig across the road, I
Anything to
don't,
do with that infrastructure of that road should be covered, or the town should be protected.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Stan, I think what you're saying is if they never do the work, and the town goes to pave it on October 1st next year, and it's all of a sudden $30,000 more, who pays that $30,000?
The town will end up doing it if it's not bonded.
Because now we've pulled their subdivision, they have no reason to pay that. So I think that's what he's trying to get at.
okay, I understand that, but I don't understand the bonding of the water, and I guess, The
You're
only-
not bonding,
Yeah, no,
bonding the water and sewer. That's, you're not. You're bonding the infrastructure itself, the road, let me put it that way, the road.
Paving we're talking about now?
Stan's talking about the digging.
No, he's talking about the paving.
Are you not talking about the digging across the road, or
If
just,
you're digging and doing any alterations to that road, the town needs to make sure that it's protected.
Okay, you do a single house and dig across the road, you don't bond for that, do you?
no.
See, right now, the road is ready to be finished, right? We've got, the company, the developer has the money in escrow. I apologize, I just got a note that I'm not talking into the mic. The town is protected right now financially because there is a irrevocable letter of credit to cover, to pave and finish the road as it is right now. So if you're gonna do any more digging or changing the existing road, pavement and the gravel bed, then we need to make sure that the town is protected, or the town's gonna end up paying for it. And I know you said earlier that any additional costs will be covered by the developer, but we need to know by that schedule, which they're going to do the crosscuts by July 1st or whatever, what it's going to cost to do the road work itself.
So just to think out loud here, so if Southern Maine goes and Southern Maine Homes goes and, hey, we're going to pave this road tomorrow, finish it up, we're done, we're out. There's no water, there's no sewer, there's nothing, but we've got the subdivision approved. We don't know when they're going to build the houses, doesn't matter, and that's not necessarily part of it. The idea of doing the sewer and the water now was that you don't mess up the road because it's so nice.
That's
right.
That's right.
Well, we don't know when they're going to build the houses. So we're going to have them do the water and the sewer for this, which seems uncharacteristic of what we expect people to do regardless, where they're doing it ahead of time. If we say, hey, we've got the money, they've got the money in escrow, pave the road, and we'll see where it lands. Unfortunately, that may mean the road gets messed up down the road. Excuse me, not to, you made a pun, but say in 3 years, when they're out there building the houses, and maybe the road will be different then. But why not have them just pave the road now? If it was like anybody else, we would just say, yeah, go ahead, pave the road.
Because if they're sold off individually, and right now we have the opportunity to get crosscuts and to combine them and make less cuts and make a better job. The other thing is
I
that
guess
whole
I'm worried
that entire project down there, that whole entire Alair Drive was a subdivision. The developer of that original subdivision was required to put all the water in and all the sewer in before they could get any houses. What happened down there was they got a couple permits to put houses in because they said, well, if we get a couple houses, we can sell a couple houses and then we can finish the project.
Sure.
And so that's how that got to where it is. But the precedence of putting water and sewer onto the lots prior to a subdivision, or not prior to a subdivision, but prior to developing, is sad. is,
Okay.
um,
I just didn't, I didn't know if we
Another-
were overcomplicating this
no,
discussion.
another one is, up by Marion Manor, up by Frank's house. That was all,
Quarry Road.
no.
No,
But John and Marie Drive, sorry.
sorry.
John and Marie Drive was all put in by the developer.
Yeah.
That was, water and sewer was stubbed on each lot. So the precedence is there, and
So
So-
the deal is, hey, put the water and sewer in as soon as you can, or give them a date that's ahead of time, and then there has to be paid by a date after that. And what Frank was saying, what everyone was saying was, the longer you wait, the better off you'll be.
Right.
If this had been paved a month ago, we wouldn't have to do any of this. would we?
That's my point.
No, if you'd been paved a month ago, we're gonna make you pave the whole thing. That's what Brian thinks. Brian says, you're not only gonna pave, you're gonna start and pave the whole thing and do the crosscuts. So, we're trying to save you, trying to make it reasonable for you to do this. But we could actually go, we can go with Brian's thing and just do it that way too, so.
David, for what, 2027, you're not doing the right thing for the road, but do what you need to do.
If you pave it by 2027?
Before 2027.
Before
Should settle
2027.
through a winter, all across us.
Great.
Any engineer will tell you that.
Which is what I was saying. If it's October and October, then or July and July, or whatever it might be, if that's our dates, we say by July you have to have the crosscuts and everything done, and then by July
Probably gonna
27.
save the road up anyhow.
So in
Can
any,
you cross cut
in,
this fall and then pave it by next fall?
in any, I guess,
Can we
just a second. So last summer, Shays were in there and they were doing all kinds of work. Building the road, shimming the road, doing all kinds of work. They did crosscuts. One of them was a pretty good sized trench that crossed the road. They dug sewer lines, they did all kinds of things. I invite you to go up there and try to find them. I know where they are, but I'm sure you guys can't find them. So I think because of the situation and the type of material that is down there, I feel confident that it could be done in 1 year. The material compacts very well, and I think it could be done within a year. So you're looking at 3 cuts for water, which is going to cross the entire road. That's going to be, well, it's going to be fairly deep because the ditch is so deep. So probably in the 6 to 8 feet range, probably. It's probably going to be pretty deep because the ditches are so deep. But it's not going to be very, very wide. The sewer, you're going to have to take into half of the lane in one spot. And I think the other ones can be done right into the manholes. So probably 5 will hardly affect it. 5 sewer lines will hardly affect it. 1 is going to be a pretty major impact. Like you said, my dad said it was probably going to be a 20 by 20 hole or so.
And
To
the
back
last
up what
one?
Aaron is saying, the 2 houses right at the end of Dora on Alair Lane, they did do that all in 1 year, and they did cut. There was no pavement in that section there at all. The pavement ended at Dora Lane, and they paved just beyond that. So that is under pavement at this point, and that's not settled.
Yep. That's probably the best situation you could have in that type of material
Yep.
to do this, I think, so. So anyway, I guess it's up to the board to decide. Everybody knows how I feel, so surprise me with a motion, I guess.
Well, you know where I stand, so it's unfortunately down to the two of you.
Okay.
So can we have cuts done by this fall? And then everything paved completely by July?
Is that not?
I don't know if you people deal with dirt people. My dirt guy's already got 3 jobs to do next spring.
Yeah.
It's busy. July 1, you're asking a lot, in my opinion. I do this for a living. Why, give us to the end of July to get the dirt work done. Maybe by October 1.
We can try to get the dirt.
We'll try to do it earlier if we can, for sure.
It's September.
I understand, Mike.
I'm just asking because I don't know. If we were able to give it the winter
I make a motion
and we
that we,
can just move it along, I think.
I make a motion that we require the crosscuts in sewer and water to be completed by July 30th of 2026 and the paving to be done by October 1st of 2026.
So July 30th and October 1st, and,
And they pay any additional for the top coat.
okay,
And they pay any additional for the top coat.
okay.
Just making sure the whole motion is like the same.
Did you second that, Ashley?
I will second that.
Okay. All right, so it's moved and seconded. Further discussion? Okay, all in favor? That 3? Opposed? Okay. All right. Okay, so, I know this is kind of out of order, but the next thing is there is an additional, I'd say 70 feet that needs to be added in order to have another lot. So that is kind of a whole different thing where, so I make a motion that the developer pave the proper amount to get the proper amount of frontage, which I believe it's 100 feet, so whatever they need to get the 100 feet of frontage, and their, so that would need to be bonded, is that correct? Okay. And they attain the proper bond for doing that.
Did we ever, this needs to be a hammerhead, did we get an answer on that?
I think Stan said that he would be okay with them being able to turn around and back into here.
Which is what Aaron's saying, is that if they pave the rest of that, they won't need the hammerhead.
Okay.
And I'll include that in the motion, that a hammerhead is not necessary.
That's what we said when we were out there tonight.
That's right.
Stretched
So
it,
a
yeah.
hammerhead not being necessary at the end of lot 6. Okay,
And then that piece of road gets turned over to the town? Does the town have to accept it? What,
the town would have to accept it.
and then, because then they
So
would
they would-
need that for the road frontage.
They will have to petition the town to, so they will own that section of road until it gets turned over to the town.
And then is it considered an extension so that they get road frontage for 100 feet, the proper amount?
Yes, it's an extension.
It's a private Olair extension.
Yep. So they own that until they petition the town, that any road, anything to, increase the amount of roads in the town has to be petitioned to the town.
Okay, now I have more questions on that. So does that mean that is like a additional cutout lot, like an additional?
Roads aren't considered lots, I don't think.
It's just an additional cutout.
And you also own the rest of the land, so that doesn't become it
Okay.
doesn't become a subdivision because,
Oh,
it
yeah, I
doesn't
just
become,
wanted to know like
it
how
doesn't
was
become a subdivided
characterized.
lot because they're already the owner of the adjacent land. Once they
So just that chunk would be cut out of their deed to be
Once
turned
they
over.
deed that over,
Yeah.
then it becomes a road and not so they're gonna continue to own that whole property, and then they'll petition the town, and then they'll deed that little section of road to the
Got it.
town.
Okay,
So we're talking about having the town take this,
Is that,
this part here, yeah.
this
yes,
part here,
Well, not this part.
and then this becomes part of this lot.
Yeah.
yes. So this being probably to here, not all the way, it doesn't have to go beyond here now, because it doesn't need a,
So it needs to just go to the corner of this.
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just enough to get the
Half of that
proper,
little
the
chunk.
proper frontage, proper amount of frontage. That, I think we
The
covered,
other reason why the timeframes are gonna work really well is because the snow contracts bids are done about this time of year, so if there is a possibility that the road's paved and they're going to petition the town to accept it, it can be included in the bid versus going through what we've done in the past for a couple of roads where we've opened them from closed winter maintenance to opening them to winter maintenance. It gives the snow plowing contract for the town, the contractor, an open door to charge a little bit more than necessary. So that allows the time to get the proper bids in to do the road plowing.
so that would have to be, you are saying that that should be done with the original,
Yeah, at least the base coat should be done. If they're going, yeah, I would say if it's gonna be, if there's any chance the town's gonna end up paving it, plowing it, then they need to know sooner than, right now, the contracts are being done September 1st, so that's the key. And I doubt you'll be getting it done the end of next year anyway, so if it's the following
Yeah.
year, as long as it's done before September 1st.
the only
it'll be
good thing
fine.
about that is that gives them a spot to dump the snow.
Yeah.
Because there's always an issue there, there's not enough room to get rid of the snow there.
Yeah, but the problem they've been having recently is when we incur those and we have to open the road further, it's a problem getting the plower to plow it, and then they open the door and it costs the town extremely more money.
So, I guess I'll throw a wrench into that. What if we said that in order to get a building permit for that last lot, that part had to be done?
Well, it would anyways, right? Because they wouldn't have the road frontage until it was done.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I'm saying that they actually didn't have to pave it at the same time as the other, which they probably would, but, I mean, would you have that all done and prepped and then do the whole road, or would you wait till the end? That's what I would think, so, there's no point in having other days, so.
So that would be approving a non-conforming lot,
No,
but just not a building lot?
no.
Because it's in
So,
the plan, like, because it's in their plan and we're approving their plan.
right, it's basically like, so it doesn't matter, that they're pretty much saying that there's no point in trying to do that.
Yeah.
Like, phase two, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that, get it done, be done with it, move on.
Okay.
So the motion is, I can't remember. Sorry.
To remove the turnaround in lot 6.
Okay,
And require them to pave
And
the
require-
extension to make that frontage correct.
to make that a conforming lot,
Mm-hmm.
okay. Remove the, so my motion was to remove the hammerhead, pave, and bring the remainder of that in road frontage in front of lot 6 up to town standards, including paving. With the same dates, with the same date as the October, was it October 1st,
Mm-hmm.
2026? Okay,
I will second that.
all right. I'm not sure if there was already a second or not, but good enough.
Sounds like
So, any further discussion on that? Okay, all in favor? Okay, that one was unanimous. All right.
I appreciate that you included it, given the other ways that subdivisions have been coming along, but not unnecessary extra stuff.
Okay, so we've addressed 8.1.3, 8.1.4. It does, so.
Do we want to talk about the vegetative buffer?
Yep.
10 feet. Stan, would it be enough just to say they can't remove any trees from that 10-foot buffer? Would that be a thick enough buffer?
You mean on lot one?
Yeah.
What they're requesting is to leave some natural trees there.
Yeah.
So I would leave enough, even if they included the 10 feet on the setbacks, but as much as possible.
Well, I guess I'm asking, is just the 10-foot setback enough?
I'm blanking, is there 10 feet already of trees on the next door neighbor's lot? Ham Division 1, lot 1?
That's ours.
Yeah.
And they're,
I haven't called them you, so.
Are there trees there?
I think there's probably 5 feet from there, on their side.
Okay.
So
I don't think there's.
I-
It'd be 15 feet of trees.
So I don't, so, I have a hard time with this one. I feel like the owners of the other property have cleared up to their boundary or nearly. If they want to have a buffer on their side, then they should have a treed buffer on their property. I don't think that we necessarily should put conditions on a treed buffer. Some people like to have their lawn right to the edge of the tree, right to the edge of the lot line, and that's their prerogative. And if somebody else wants a treed buffer, they should have a treed buffer on their property. That's how I feel about it, and that's, you guys are welcome to have your opinion, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, but the current owners didn't clear that lot.
No, but they can plant trees on that lot.
Yeah. Which is not cheap.
I mean, it's tough to require people to have buffers beyond what's already in the, ordinances. I know that's within our ability to do that, like you said. There are trees there, I'm just looking at the satellite, it's hard to say what it's like, I forgot what it looks like down there now, but
I think there's quite a, I thought there was 20 feet of buffer there, but,
Yeah, and I'm not
on their
saying
side, I just,
I'm not saying we change the setback, I'm just saying we just
Within the
have them
setback.
leave the trees that are within the setback.
but the setback is only a setback to the house, so that means that if the house was at the 10-foot mark,
Have
They
trees
had to
right up
leave.
I
against
mean,
it.
what is this, like dashed? Oh, I see what you're saying,
That's
they
the
would put the house right up to the,
Yeah.
yeah, I see what
the
you're saying.
only setback there is, the
Yeah,
only,
yeah.
only 10-foot setback is that a dwelling cannot be closer than 10 feet to the sideline.
Yeah,
And with them only being 100 feet wide, that's cuts into that space to get around your house without anything in the way.
And the trees there are pretty scrubby anyway, so I don't know, I'm not sure if people would want to leave them. I'd rather have some nice shade trees to grow up than what's there now, so. That's my thought, but again,
Are there any proposed restrictions for any of these subdivision lots? I don't think so, right? Like from the developer side?
I don't believe so. I can't see it, so I have to get it bigger so I can see it.
Without knowing where they're gonna put the house, you don't even, I mean, what are you gonna require them to leave? You know, I mean, they could put that house potentially anywhere.
Right.
I mean, couldn't they, I mean, within this area, like you said, it goes up, I mean, obviously this rise and stuff, they're trying to get it in the flattest spot, but we don't, I mean, this thing can be turned this way, it could be back here, I mean, we don't.
It could be anywhere within that building
Yeah,
envelope.
so my point is, what would we ask them? You have to just leave some trees over here, we could, but,
We have the ability to do whatever. It's just, for me,
Yeah, I appreciate
for
the
me,
ask.
I just have a, I don't feel that's necessary, but,
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine, and I'm on the other end where I've been a property owner and had someone come in and clear cut a lot, and now, now I look at a house every
Yeah,
day, and it
okay.
sucks, it's
Yeah,
miserable, so.
yeah, okay. So, make the motion, whatever you guys want to do. I'm
I'll make a motion that they need to maintain a 10-foot vegetative buffer along that side of the lot.
on all the lots or just
No,
that
just
one
lot
lot?
one, where there's existing homes.
Okay, so on lot one?
Yep.
Okay. Is there a second on that?
10 foot into the lot from the lot line?
Yes.
In the solid black.
I'll second that one for discussion, so. Any just further discussion from the board?
Guess I'm trying to decide if I feel like that's fair to put on one lot only.
Just makes it more difficult to build a house on an already small lot. It's
I understand.
allowable in the town. People have voted to allow it in the town.
10 foot's meant for buildings, not for trees and other things.
I
And
under-
so
I
it
understand.
moves you in another 10 feet off that property line,
I understand.
trying to build off the setback.
Okay. So it's moved and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor? Okay, opposed? Okay. Okay. I think those are the big issues that we had to discuss here. So, did I see a soils map? Stan, you'll take care of the culverts and all that stuff per lot and all that.